Hey, what's going on? This is Troy, and this is the Planet 76 podcast, your source for Sixers news, highlights, hot takes, and more. Welcome to the show.
All right, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of episode 21 of Planet 76. I'm your host, Michael from Trust Love, and we have Troy here as well. We're going to go straight from our previous part, which was part 1, part A, whatever you want to call it. This episode is going to be some predictions we have. Mostly predictions, I would say, for the most part. Awards, some bold predictions, and Eastern Conference standings. Obviously, because the Sixers are in the Eastern Conference. Try to make everything that we can Sixers related. And we're going to do that. So, where do you want to start, Troy? Because on the outline, we have awards. But, honestly, I don't care where we start. So, I'll let you start it off.
Let's go with bold predictions, then awards,
Okay.
then the standings. That's kind of what it's going to be. Some bold stuff, not so bold predictions, and then, at least in mine, some NBA hardware, MVP, that kind of thing, and then our Eastern Conference standings breakdown. So give me one of your bold predictions. This could be Sixers. This could be league-wide.
So, I'll give a Sixers one right now. My bold prediction actually is kind of intertwined with my player goals post that I made and what we just talked about on part 1 of episode 21, which is Matisse Thybulle making the all-defensive first team. Again, like I mentioned in our Sixers episode, I think it's possible with an uptick in his minutes. I think it's very possible. So, I think that was one of the lesser bold opinions,
right.
Not opinions, predictions out of my other ones.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start with least bold to most bold.
Okay.
My least bold is that LaMelo Ball makes an All-Star appearance this year.
Okay. You think that could happen then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like, you think
Yeah.
that's-
Like my other
Okay.
ones are a little more bold than that. Because I think that
Okay.
can happen. My other two are a little crazy, but that's why it's called bold predictions. All right, you hit me with one.
All right. So an NBA one, not Sixers. Which one? I think I said the Timberwolves making the playoffs. I think I said the Timberwolves sneaking into the playoffs.
They'll be sneaking in if they make it.
via the play-in tournament, because I don't think they're going to make the 8th seed. Well, actually, what is it? 9-10.
I don't know what they do anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So I could see them definitely snagging the 8th seed via the play-in tournament. I don't even know how bold that is, because I feel like that definitely could happen, because the Timberwolves are going to be very good this season. Well, not very good, but they're going to be decent.
Good enough to make it. Okay. I mean, I
Yeah.
like that. I'm trying to figure out which one. I got two more.
What was another one I had? Let me go look.
This one. All right. The Brooklyn Nets win the finals. No, I'm just kidding. The Brooklyn Nets miss the Eastern Conference Finals again.
I thought you were going to say miss the playoffs.
They missed the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Toe on the line, Mr. Durant. We know what happened then. The Bucks moved on to face the Hawks. I'm going to say, I don't know who's going to take them out. I don't know any of that. But I think I'm going to say the Nets don't even make it to the conference finals.
Wow. That's actually very bold.
It is.
That's very bold.
It is.
I think a lot of these bold predictions just come down to a matter of opinion. Like, somebody might think that's not that bold because they hate the Nets, or there's some sort of bias against the Nets. So they're like, oh, the Nets aren't going to do that.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
not that bold. So it's like, to them, it's not bold kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that one's bold because I
think
don't
that's-
see it
I think
happening.
that's fair.
I
That's
think they're
fair.
going to make the conference finals, but, that's my bold prediction.
Yeah. Right.
Wait to hear my next one.
Right. So, I'm going to do this one here. Another NBA one. I'm going to do. I have one NBA. And I have two more NBA ones, but I think this one's the most bold. So,
Okay.
Bam Adebayo wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
I think that's pretty bold. I think there are a lot of other guys who are going to be way ahead of him in the award voting and such. So Bam Adebayo winning Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's pretty bold. Not gonna lie.
That's pretty bold.
Not gonna lie.
It's pretty bold. He's certainly
Yeah.
he's a guy that can do it. You know, it's bold and yet it's wise or smart enough to say, oh, yeah, that could happen.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Are you ready for this one?
Let's hear
I'm
it.
jumping.
I'm gonna be like, yo, what is this?
I have jumped on a bandwagon recently. The Chicago Bulls bandwagon.
Okay.
I can't even say it. But I'm going to say
Come
it.
on, you got it.
I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls will get a... the Chicago Bulls will get a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Oh. Well, they call them bold for a reason, so respect.
Exactly.
Respect. Dude, honestly, though, like from a totally objective standpoint, it's the NBA.
Yep.
The Hawks got the 4 seed this past season.
Right.
And they almost made the finals.
Right.
But hey, I mean...
And we'll get to this in a second. We'll see the standings. So I don't have them at number 4. But when I did the standings first, then I went with some bold predictions. So I was like, well, you know, maybe they can move up past 5. Maybe they can move up to 4. Like, you know, who knows? Because I think they're in with 3 or 4 teams that are kind of going to be interchangeable when we approach playoff time, in my opinion. And so that's mine. And that kind of goes with one of my hardware predictions for the NBA this year. So I had to do it.
Oh.
I had to do it.
Okay. All right.
What else you got? That's all I got. I was like, oh, that's it.
All right. I'll do one more. And it's another Sixers one. And it is Joel Embiid wins MVP.
No.
A lot of Joel Embiid MVP propaganda to start the season. I was actually one of the first ones last season, you can go back to check my posts, who was like, hey, Joel Embiid should win MVP this season. I think he's going to win it. And he came this close.
Yeah.
So, if anything, you should listen to me. And you should listen to Troy, too. Just saying. Just saying. He's saying the same things I'm saying, so.
That's right. It's got to be true. If it's said on Planet 76, it has to be true.
Yes.
All right. So that's our bold predictions. We will play these back at the end of the year and see what's true, see what's stupid, see when the Bulls are the 14 and seed in the East. I'll say that's what I meant. I meant they were 14, not 4.
That's a typo.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. So, yeah. All right. Hardware predictions. Let's run it right here. Who is your MVP prediction?
My pick is Steph Curry.
Very good pick.
Steph Curry.
Very good pick. I saw your pick. I wanted to say your pick. I did not. We're going to keep it home cooking here on Planet 76. I'm going Mr. Joel, the process, Joel Hans Embiid.
Nice.
All right.
That's solid. That's really solid.
Defensive player of the year.
I actually have Embiid winning Defensive Player of the Year. A lot of people were surprised by that, but I think this could be his best defensive season yet. I think he's going to put himself back on the map of defensive players because he was catching a lot of slander on my page as a defensive player.
Yes.
For some reason, I was like, people really don't think Joel Embiid's a good defensive player. Am I the one that's something's wrong with me? Like, am I a casual? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, I think that is a great choice, and I think it would be, and I think it's appropriate to say that, you know, this past season, his recognition on Instagram, like, you know, on fan pages or even in NBA news, insider sources, due to number 25 being among the best defensively in the NBA, I think Joel kind of took a back seat. Not that he even took a step back, but he took a back seat. Joel is just an unbelievable player, and even the fact that like his offensive numbers were so good and he was so efficient, and he had a stretch of 15 games where he averaged like 35 a game. We see that, and we forget what he does on defense. He's
still that good defensively. Right. Like, he is one of the best two-way players in the game right now.
Without a doubt. So I think that's good. I went really, really out on a limb here. This could have been a bold prediction. I picked Rudy Gobert.
I mean, I don't think it's that bold.
It's not at all. Because he's always around, so I picked him. Rookie of the year.
He's always going to be there. Honestly, I think there's only two guys to even choose from. One of my board predictions was Scotty Barnes winning, as we talked about off air, but I have Cade Cunningham winning Rookie of the Year. No shock to a lot of NBA fans, but that's it.
I took the other guy. I took Jalen Green. There you go. Enough
That's
said
fair.
there.
Also a fair choice. Yeah.
Most improved player. Who you got?
So, this was actually one of the more difficult choices that I had to make because my picks are locked. I'm not changing them. I don't care what happens. My picks are locked. So, this was one of the more difficult choices I had to make. But I went with Michael Porter Jr. I think he's going to have a great season, especially after getting his contract. I think he's going to be amazing for the Nuggets with the absence of Jamal Murray. So I got Michael Porter Jr. I think he's going to be fantastic this season. So.
Okay. I also took Michael Porter Jr. for those very same reasons. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. Stays healthy. He's going to be good. Sixth man of the year. I took someone who Sixers fans might want to cover their ears. Might be a trendy pick. Certainly hasn't been in the conference. Not like a guy that's a staple in the sixth man of the year running. I took Kevin Huerter from Atlanta.
Really?
I did.
Interesting.
Little trendy. That could have been a hot take. That could have been a hot take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, I don't mind that pick at all. I think that's actually a really solid pick. I think that's a really solid pick.
I wanted to be different on that one.
So, okay. When I said my picks are locked, this pick might be an exception because he might start. I don't think he will.
Okay, that is an exception.
He might
That's
start.
Fair.
He might start, but he also might not, due to certain circumstances in Brooklyn. My pick is Patty Mills.
I like that.
He might start with Kyrie being out. Bruce Brown also might start.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'll give you the exception. I'll give you the clearance there. That's good.
Right. I think that can be.
That's fair.
I think we can understand that.
That's fair. That's fair. A lot going on in Brooklyn. That's fair, and that's a very good pick. I like that. Coach of the year. This is the one where I said it kind of plays out of my conference standings or bold predictions. Billy Donovan in Chicago. Coach of the year.
That's a good pick. I think I saw a couple people pick him to win that award. I think that's a good pick. I think that's an underrated pick. So, my pick, totally going out on a limb. No idea how he's going to do as a coach. No idea how this team is going to do. They're one of the wild cards in the Eastern Conference. I chose Ime Udoka from the Boston Celtics. New head coach. He was with the Sixers, which was the main reason why I picked him. I don't know. Something telling me he's going to have a good season with the Celtics. I was just like, you know what?
That's funny because
I want to see what Ime Udoka can do.
That's funny because something's telling me the Celtics aren't going to have a good season. So it's just kind of funny. That's like different for us. Might be my bias.
So,
I don't know. But we will see. We will see which one of us is right on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right. So that's our hardware predictions. We'll come back and play those back at some point during the year, end of the year, and get a good laugh. And we'll see. Let's move to the conference standings. All I did was the 8 teams. So I don't know if you just want to roll with the top 8.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to start at the bottom?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Let's start at the bottom.
Okay.
Let's go one for one. Who's your 8 seed?
All right. So I have the Chicago Bulls at the 8 seed.
Dude.
I caught a lot of heat for this.
Really?
And here's my thing.
My Bulls, the Knicks, 8 seed.
The Knicks just made the playoffs. The Celtics just made the playoffs. The Hawks just made the playoffs. The Bulls, yes, they're going to be good. They put together a very nice team in the offseason. But we don't actually know what they're going to look like. How am I supposed to put them over multiple playoff teams who... how am I supposed to put them over teams who just made the playoffs? I couldn't bring myself to do that. I didn't want to disrespect the Knicks.
And I could.
Because they're good teams. Oh, man, really? Okay. Who's your pick?
I sure could put them above those teams. Part of it just for fun. And I did, full disclosure, I did see Michael's standings. He posted on Instagram. It's his fault. I saw them beforehand. I didn't want to have the same exact thing. My 8 seed.
I mean, if you did, it was fine. Like, it would have been fine if you did.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I couldn't do it, and I didn't want to do it. My 8 seed is one of those teams that make the playoffs. 7 and 8 was tough for me, but because I hate the Celtics, I put the Boston Celtics number 8.
I knew it was gonna. I knew you were gonna get to that. I was just waiting for it. I was like, he's gonna say the Celtics.
He's gonna
He's
say
gonna say the Celtics, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Why? I don't know. But yeah. 7, hit me.
To be honest, 6 through 8 could be interchangeable. Like, I wouldn't even care if you put the Bulls over any teams that aren't the top 5, which probably going to be the same for us. But anyway, 7, I have the Knicks.
Same.
Okay, interesting. I don't. The Celtics, I don't know if they got a ton better this offseason, but they are getting Jaylen Brown back and another season of Jason Tatum, who is going to be amazing this season, top 12 player in the NBA. So I don't know. I didn't want to put them over the Celtics, but like I said a couple minutes ago, I think 6 through 8 is pretty interchangeable. I wouldn't be mad if you put the Bulls at 6, Bulls at 7, Bulls at 8.
Right. That's one interchangeable section for you. My interchangeable is more 3 through 5, maybe 6 if my bold prediction is correct. But my 6 here, I couldn't put them higher. I just couldn't. That's why it's bold. If it does happen, if they're a top 4, is the Chicago Bulls sitting at 6.
Okay.
I like what I'm seeing. I like their coach. It's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be a race.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
That is number 6. Coming in at number 5 for me. Sorry if I'm cutting you off. The connection is horrendous.
It's getting
just in
bad.
case you're wondering. If we're like laughing
It's
over each
getting
other,
bad.
that's why. Number 5, the Atlanta Hawks. Again, this is my
have the Hawks at 5.
This is my interchangeable section 3, 4, 5. So Atlanta Hawks at 5. Yeah. Why 5 for you?
Well, I was going to put them higher because of the last season and because they were missing players. And I think they got better in the offseason by a small amount. They're going to be getting Cam Reddish back. They're going to be getting DeAndre Hunter back. They drafted Sharif Cooper, who's very good. So They definitely are going to be better than they were. And they just made the Eastern Conference Finals. They just made the Eastern Conference Finals without these key players that they're going to be with this season. So I was going to put them higher, but I was like, I don't know. Are the Hawks that good? Are they that good? I don't know. So I took the safe bet, and I put them at 5.
I think that's kind of the thinking I was going through too there. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if they're 3, 4, 5. If they're 3, 4. If they're 5, certainly not going to be shocked. I think that's, in that range where they land.
Yeah.
Okay, I think our top 4 are the same teams.
Yeah.
Just not in the same order.
I think so.
So we have all of the,
Okay.
We're predicting, our top 4 are going to be the ones hosting, in that first round. Number 4, I went back and forth. I'm scared of this team, I'll tell you that. I put the Miami Heat at 4.
Okay. I actually have the Sixers at 4. For those that don't know, which a lot of you probably do, I've been saying a lot of the fact that the Sixers are still going to be good, whether or not Simmons plays. I believe they'll still be a top 5 team, whether or not Simmons plays. And I have them at 4. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Again, it's going to be tough. 3, I've got the Sixers. I'm assuming you have Miami.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep.
And then number 2, I have the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks sitting atop the East at number 1.
Wow. So we have our top 4 is opposite of each other. I have the Nets at 1 and Bucks at 2. and you have that reverse. Yep. Interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
We shall see.
We will see.
But I think we're both in agreement. Even again, if we bring this back to the Sixers, we know about the Bucks and the Nets. We know the teams that they have. I mean, between the Hawks and the Heat or any of those other teams we mentioned, which one are you like, I want to avoid a first-round matchup with them? If you know, again, this is the beginning of the season, but who are you more scared of right now?
Well, I'd love to stomp on the Heat in the first round. You said first round, right?
So if it's 4 or 5
Hawks,
or
yeah. That's the thing. Like, I know I didn't really mean to have it come off as me talking down on the Hawks, because I wasn't doing that. But, you know, I did say that I don't know if they are that good. Were they that good? I don't know, is what I said.
Right.
But then again, I'm just like, I don't know. The Hawks are, I don't know if I want to play them in the first round. We know what happened just a few months ago.
Right.
We know what happened, and obviously a lot of things could have been avoided. You know what I'm referring to. But it still begs the question of, like, can the Hawks do that again? And I don't know if they're playing the Sixers, relatively the same teams. Obviously, like I mentioned, the Hawks have some new additions and some players returning, but they would still probably play the same way against us, and who knows? It can end the same exact way that it did in June. So I don't. I'd rather play the Heat, is what I'll say.
Okay. Would rather play the Heat. I don't know. They both, even, again, what they've done in the offseason to add, I mean, the Heat have Kyle Lowry now. The Heat have P.J. Tucker now. The Heat still have Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo is getting better. Tyler Hero is probably going to take a next step. Although, did you see the quote that he had about, like, wanting to be mentioned with, who was it? Who are the guys in it?
What is this dude?
In his draft class?
He said Luka, Trey, Ja, I should be in that tier. No, you shouldn't, dude. No, you shouldn't. What is the reasoning for that quote, man? What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Sorry, bud.
Confidence is great, but there's levels. You gotta pump the brakes for a little bit here.
Well, his Instagram is No Limit Hero, so maybe he just thinks there's no limit for him. There is, buddy. You're not in that category.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. So, yeah. But they're a good team. The Heat are very good. Yeah. Obviously a great coach. Yeah. They're scary. Mm-hmm. Just to make it different, I'd like to see the Heat in the first round, or Heat in the playoffs. If we had to see one of those two teams in the playoffs at some point, maybe the Heat. Sick of Trae Young.
Okay.
He's so good.
He is very good. It just makes you be like.
He makes you.
Oh, Trae Young!
Yes.
I want to punch you.
That exactly. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. He frustrates you, and he's just like he's hard to plan for. And I get that Jimmy had triple doubles in the NBA Finals, but it's just kind of a different thing that he does.
It's different, yeah.
It's different.
Different play style.
And I'm more scared of what Trae Young does than Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler has limits that you can attack on offense. Trae Young attacks you on offense. I don't know how else to say it.
Right.
But yeah, anything else NBA wise, or how the Sixers kind of play into all of this?
I mean, nothing really. I think this season is just going to be for a lot of teams. Obviously, the few teams that have things set in stone: Bucks, Suns, Jazz. Right. There's going to be a lot of experimenting going on, just because there's been so many moves and so many moving pieces, so many things going on this off season. A lot of teams are just going to have a lot of experimenting to do, and I don't know if we're going to see a lot of these teams at their full form until the end of the season. And that's crazy because, again, every team basically is brand new.
Right. And what I think of is we obviously just touched on the Eastern Conference and teams that have gotten better there. I mean, we know the list. I don't want to say that this is like the most wide open year in however many years, but because a lot of
It's really
people are
not.
still gonna have the Bucks and the Nets and the Lakers on the other
Yeah.
side. But I think maybe not wide open in terms of who's reaching the finals, but I think like wide open in terms of where some of these teams can land in the standings, especially in the West.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors might very well be quote unquote back this year.
Mhm.
You got the Clippers, you got the Nuggets, you got the Jazz, you got the Lakers, you got the Suns who won the Western Conference. You got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in Portland. You've got, I'm missing other teams. I know I am. Like, if you're a 6-7 seed out west, you're a
luck
good
to
team,
you.
and yet
Right.
you're there because of everybody who's ahead of you. One of those. I mean, I named 6-7 teams. One or two of those teams are going to be at the bottom of the Western Conference playoffs, and those are good basketball teams. And so, not saying those teams are going to make the finals, but like, I think the regular season standings and how they shake out, especially in the West, is going to be very, very interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
and we get to watch it happen. The NBA is back, baby.
Yes. Ooh. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, this is Planet 76. This has been our season preview for the 2021-22 Philadelphia 76ers season. And again, be sure to join us as we take off, if you will, for the season. And hope you'll join us as we break down games, preview games, talk about all things Sixers here on Planet 76. So subscribe, send us questions, send us DM, whatever you want to do to be involved, to be a partner of the show. We would love for you to be with us. So
Definitely.
We will see you here in a few days, and we'll break down some Sixers regular season action and look ahead to some more. Peace. You just listened to an episode of the Planet 76 podcast. Hey, we appreciate you joining us for this episode. Whatever platform you're on, why don't you hit that subscribe button for us, and we'll see you next time.